This week, a change to our scheduled programming. Yes, this is a video that I've wanted to be doing for about 8 or 9 months now, and so far I've been toying around with how to actually bring it across. Should I sit in front of a camera and read a book, in which case that would just be boring, it'd just be me reading it? Should I do it like this and potentially end up pissing people off because they can't see my beautiful face anymore? In the end, I decided to go with the latter, and there's 2 reasons with that. The first one is that you can actually see what I'm talking about, and the second one we will come to at the end of the video. But for now, we have my primary school report. I've seen a few of these videos kicking around, and all of them have been a bit dull, I'm not going to lie, so let's see if I can ride that wave of complete and total apathy and come out with something that is vaguely entertaining. I'm holding out idiot's hope, aren't I? Anyway, the Metropolitan Borough of Stockport, there's my primary school, and this is my annual report to parents for when I was a chiddering. As you can see, it's a particularly filthy report, as it has had dirt, mud and ectoplasm splattered on it across the years. However, it does have my name in nice sort of calligraphy writing, so that's something, I suppose. We shall begin as we should at the start. This report folder has begun at the end of your child's reception year and will eventually contain all the end-of-year reports. It's a school report, you know how this works, I don't really need to bother reading through it. And here we are at the beginning, as one should start rather than at the end and work backwards. Also, just noticed the school crest, which I doubt we still have anymore. I'm not sure if it's the school crest or the Stockport crest, because it incorporates a hat and a castle on a hill, which were prominent features of Stockport in days gone by. The only prominent feature of Stockport now is loan shops and crushing, depressing poverty. Yes, so this was started in my reception year. For reception, I was in a woman's called Mrs. Jackson's. However, due to overcrowding, I was quickly moved into a class with a woman called Mrs. Bagent. And of all the infant teachers in my primary school, she was the nicest. She did, however, manhandle me out of the classroom once because I was drawing on the back of a chair with a crayon, so nice is a very, very loose term when we come to the sort of circle of crones that I had as infant teachers. Oh god, the battery's dying already. Huzzah! I see a jump cut coming in my near future. Oh, right, so that occurred. Apologies for that. Right, let's carry on. Let's see, what did Mrs. Bagent have to say about me? John can listen to instructions and stories, but he tends to get very restless and he moves around the carpet when he should be sitting in one place. Oh, how times haven't changed. This is interesting. He's making good progress on the reading scheme, but he doesn't enjoy writing in any form. Countless sketches and one web series down later, let's see how that one went. John enjoys math works. Lies. John is able to ask questions and make comments about his work. Well, that's always good. Yes, and I can't help but notice, actually, now that I've paid attention, the head teacher hasn't even bothered to sign it. Bless him. John enjoys coming... This is my parents' comments now. John enjoys coming to school and is no problem in the morning getting ready. He will discuss what he has been doing at school and seems to enjoy most topics. He tells us when he has been in trouble and seems to accept being told off, and holds no grudges. Again, how times change. Then we're going to move on to Mrs. Robertshaw, who was my second teacher, who made me believe that Hitler's wife is indeed alive and well. And this is the year where MS Word really started taking off, as you can see. So I'm just trying to find something that's actually interesting. Aha, PE. I've never been good at this one. John is working hard to develop basic game skills. John enjoys and participates well in music and movement. What? Where does music come into PE? Oh, I think I remember. We had some random dance thing going on. That explains a lot when you think about it. Alright, well, what do you say for music then? John's musical experience has included listening skills and simple rhythm work. God, to think at this early age I could have been a composer. No thank you. 45 absences out of 308. Well, at least I got some time off, I suppose. General comments. John has had a mixed year, particularly behaviour-wise. At times he has been quite naughty and he can be bad, tempered with other children. When he has put his mind to it, he can clothe some very good work. He needs to do that all the time. Yes, and you need to work on your handwriting, Mrs. Robertshaw. And then a generic comment from the then head teacher, who I seem to remember was a bit of a sadomasochist. And my parents talking about they were constantly called into school that year because my teacher thought I was some kind of rapist or something, I don't know. And then we have Mrs. McPherson, who I believe was actually in league with the devil for a bit. In fact, I remember her leaving assembly. She was in the middle of telling a mass, only for the daffodils on the altar to spontaneously burst into flames, which was told a multitude of things. John has made steady progress in English this year. However, he does not always listen, and this is reflected in his work. During our literacy group work, he has contributed... Oh dear, those reading skills have sure paid off. He's able to write competently for a range of different purposes. You bitch. His spelling is good, and he's able to use capital letters and full stops. He's working at level 3. Go me. He does mix with his peers, but is rather a loner and is happy with his own company. You rude bitch. John is polite and well-behaved in class. Not to you, I'm not anymore. Ugh. You see, that's the thing. It's a breakdown of my skills, and then it's just an insult at the end. How dare she? In fact, I remember this is the only teacher that my mother actually had an argument with during one of the parents' evenings. My mother, quite a level-headed person when she wants to be. Well, aren't we all, when we want to be? And then I moved into the juniors, and this is from the 19th of June 2000. So we're going back 14 years. Oh my god. Deep breath. Deep breath. Literacy. John has worked hard in all aspects of the literacy hour and has made good progress. He listens attentively and makes a good response to a variety of texts during the first part of the literacy hour. Well, good. Technology. Here's one we haven't looked at yet. John's enjoyed his woodwork but needs some help to complete his wooden stables. I've made a stable? When? What? Okay. Using the computer, John can write some text on text ease. That was a thing, apparently. Oh boy. Then store, retrieve, and redraft it. He is becoming more confident in the use of the computer keyboard. Excellent. Art. Despite finding the subject difficult, John has enjoyed all aspects of the drawing, painting, and patterning covered this year. He has particularly enjoyed using paint to create a variety of colours and moods. I seem to remember, actually, there was one time where we had to make a portrait, and I just kept painting really long hair because I didn't want to stop using the paint. I really like paint. Humanities. John has shown interest in the study of Chembakoli and can compare his own locality with the contrasting locality, explaining why some of the differences occur. Where the hell is Chembakali? I may have to look that up. Apparently I understood it once upon a time. However, this was 14 years ago. And my parents are saying they're very pleased with their report as per always. Then we go into 2001. This is the 4th of June, and I was in tutor group 4C7 apparently. I don't remember it being called 4. In fact, it was called Class 7. I remember that specifically. Yes. There was a Class 5, a Class 6, and a Class 7, and I somehow skipped from Class 4 to Class 6. It's all very complicated and I don't really understand. And every year the classes went up and down, so we ended up with only a Class 6 as the highest. It was very confusing, so I went from Class 4 to Class 6 to Class 7 back to Class 6. And then I think there was a Class 8 at one point. It was all over the place. Anyway, you don't care about that. Science. John has shown interest in learning how to plan an investigation and is able to carry out experiments and record findings with increasing accuracy. I was a bit of a Frankenstein's monster in this year, it would appear. Physical education. John enjoys most aspects of PE. A lie! But needs to develop further his general coordination and ball skills. God, the amount of ex-boyfriends I've had tell me that. His dance and games work are participated in with some enthusiasm, but he needs to develop further his control and coordination. Again, reads rather... Anyway, I just have a feedback box next to my bed. John tries hard to understand humanities topics, but find it difficult to place events in time, especially ancient events and people with studying Egypt. He finds topics close to our time, such as the Victorians, easier to place. In studying the topics of settlements, he has shown some interest in the local study of Manchester Airport, because we got to go to Manchester Airport, and I seem to remember ripping my trousers, because I was not the slimmest of children. And again, John has made good progress with English, his math is terrible, blah-de-blah-de-blah, the usual. Bloody hell, first the battery, now the memory card. This video is simply going to be littered with jump cuts, both to make up for the technical faults and my own stuttering all over the place. Anyway, let's continue. Where were we? Religious education. Following the Here I Am programme, John has shown interest in the work covered, particularly within the topics of good and evil and messages and witnesses, as demonstrated a fuller understanding of his faith and his role within the school community. So much so, I became an atheist. Physical education. John enjoys most aspects of PE, but needs to develop further his I don't bloody believe... And for art as well. Well, I'll be buggered with a dinosaur. The art and physical education are exactly the same. All she's done is taken art and craft out of that and just copy and pasted the bitch. I am going to find out where she teaches and I am going to have a stern talk with her. God damn you, Miss Shaw, or presumably Mrs. something these days, or whatever, I don't know. Well, that's put me in a bad mood. Let's move on to the last year, circa 2003. Now we're only going back 11 years, which is only slightly depressing. And this year I was back with Miss Heap. Yes, I had a teacher twice and skipped in the middle. It's very complicated. It doesn't matter, you don't care anyway. John has worked very hard this year at English. He listens carefully and can express his answers and ideas clearly. He reads fluently and expressively. His comprehension is good and he's beginning to use inference and deduction. John writes imaginatively and expresses his ideas clearly, if not always concisely. Recognition at last. Only took... How many years was I at this rancid school? 7 years or something like that? I don't know. Fair enough. Here we go. Technology. John is able to use the computer for creating multimedia presentations and able to combine text and images to good effect. John enjoys making his 3D hat and bread and recognises that bread is an important part of a balanced diet. Wasn't I a clever thing? Religious education. John can explain that beliefs, special buildings, language, place and books are features of religion and knows how religion practices shape people's lives. Nowadays I mainly focus on the negative aspect, but that's because I'm quite a negative person like that. Oh lord, I just read that. Music. John listens attentively, enjoys singing, and can sing rounds competently. John can recognise the notes from a score of music and worked hard to play these on tuned percussion instruments. Then puberty happened. Well, what an absolute tragedy that was. And the last notes from my headmistress. John has been an exemplary pupil who we will all miss. Good luck for next year and well done. And my parents didn't write anything, because of course I just took this home and it was never returned, so they didn't really have much of a need to. Also, a final last comment from my last teacher. John's creative writing is lively and imaginative. He clearly uses his reading as a basis for his work and enjoys literacy. He does, however, still need support in his maths, where he is much less confident, and even to this day is letting me down, unfortunately. John has always been a pleasant and helpful member of the class whose manners are excellent. I wish him well for the future. I do actually have this teacher on Facebook, so I may tag her in this video when it comes to upload it, although the number of insults that I have levied at some of her colleagues might not be as good an idea. Anyway, that was my school report, and I shudder to think how long this video will actually be. Now I will quickly let you know on why the sudden format change. It's not going to be a constant thing. However, in the coming weeks and months, I will be launching two new YouTube series. One of them you'll already know about if you follow me on Twitter, and you'll have seen my desperate attempt at making a logo, which I'm finally sort of happy with-ish. But this is another one, completely unrelated to that one, called Swag. Basically, I have been getting a lot, and I do mean a lot, of positive comments whenever I do product reviews, and so I thought, seeing as the people like it, rather than substitute what I'm currently doing, I will have a side thing. So I'm currently thinking of having the product review thing on a Tuesday or something like that, and it'll be very exciting, and I get to channel other YouTubers like this. Also, I was worried for a time that I might just be ripping off a very well-known YouTuber of who I may have done 1 or 2 video covers of. As it it turns out most people do it like this because it is just the best way to do it, because at the end of the day, why would you want to look at me when you can look at the thing that I am talking about? One slight difference is I'm going to be reviewing absolutely anything. Literally anything. Anything you can think of, even air itself. I might not actually do that because it is visually quite difficult. However, you never know. So yes, that's plans for the future, and apologies if this video ends up being ludicrously long, but I will try and cut it down so it is at least somewhat concise. At any rate, thank you very much for watching. See you next Saturday. Ta for watching.